આની શું ઇમ્પોર્ટન્સ છે?
Sir, actually, this is more commonly involving the young patient and even children.
ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ એ છે કે તમે નીજર રિસ્પોન્સ ન કરો,
Okay.
પણ તે સ્ટેટિંગ લખી નાખો એ જરૂરી નથી.
Exactly.
બરાબર છે? You have to differentiate because there are other causes which are not amenable to stating.
Actually,
Yes, please.
yes, sir, definitely. And sir, recently we have heard a little bit news of MI in young patient. It's even going to board exam. There were sudden cardiac death.
Yes.
So that this could be the cause in some patients. Yes, sir.
What could be the cause?
Actually, sir, anomalous origin of origin. There are multiple causes, but non-atherosclerotic cause will be primary
You are
in young
looking
patients.
at demography. It is the stress of exam which has created this.
Definitely, sir.
Go ahead.
Approximately 4 to 7% of all patients with acute MI and nearly 4 times this percentage of patients younger than 35 years of age do not have atherosclerotic CAG, atherosclerotic coronary artery disease on CAG or necropsy. Now, the causes would be the intimal proliferation, congenital anomaly, external compression, emboli, thrombosis, or hydrogenic, then dissection or demand supply mismatch. Then spasm or intramural disease, any trauma, substance abuse like cocaine, arthritis, and the metabolic disorders. These are the spectrum of
It is the in the human, in the world, and outside.
yes, sir. It is in the women, in the or outside.
Right? These are the three causes,
Yes.
and fourth is the immunity.
Yes, sir.
Right? Nutshell, all comes in these four ways.
You can put that COVID-19 disease making patient more confident of coronary artery.
Actually, sir, in COVID-19 there are multiple studies. The mechanisms are first is thromboembolic mechanism. Means there is a embolus forming in angles somewhere else in the body, and patient is developing MI. The second mechanism is plaque rupture, or which is the common mechanism in almost normal MI also. So plaque rupture is also common with COVID, and the patient who has already stenosis, somewhat of stenosis, is already. So in COVID, sir, all three mechanisms are there: atherosclerotic, non-atherosclerotic both. The congenital, first one is the congenital coronary anomalies. It may be the either anomalous origin or the atresia of the artery or high takeoff of the ostia, ostial narrowing, fistula or myocardial breaches. These are the congenital coronary anomalies which leads to non-atherosclerotic causes of coronary arteries. It is seen in 1 to 5% of patients undergoing CAG. In autopsy with sudden cardiac death, 0.1 to 0.2% has evidence of congenital coronary anomalies. Ischemia occurring in congenital anomalies. First, in some anomalies there is absence of ischemia. It is most evident split RCA, ectopic RCA from right cusp or ectopic RCA from left cusp. There is no evidence of any other anomaly. Just the ectopic origin of the artery, and artery course is almost normal. Second thing, ostium is not narrow or there is no fibrous ridge or at the ostium, so there will be absence of any ischemia. The second is the episodic ischemia. This is present with anomalous origin of the coronary artery from the opposite sides. Here the course of the artery is prolonged, and this prolonged course and the obtuse angle of the artery may lead to the episodic ischemia. Then obligatory ischemia, the patient would have almost ischemia in abnormal left coronary artery from pulmonary artery.
Out of all, which one is common?
Sir, most common is absence of ischemia. It's coronary anomalies, but may not lead to the ischemia.
Breeze is equally common.
Yes. Breach is common, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir. Breach is definitely common.
Because the artery passing through the myocardium.
Yes, that is common, sir. Breach incidence is 4 to 10%. The maximum incidence is myocardial breach.
Right? And if it is epicardial breach,
Yes.
it can produce this.
of the left and right coronaries from the same sinus of the Valsalva. So, it may be the anterior to the pulmonary trunk, or it may be the posterior to the aorta, and it may be the between aorta and the pulmonary trunk. This is the diagrammatic representation. So, in this anomaly, this is normal origin of the left main and the right. Here, the left main is from the pulmonary trunk. But out of these all anomalies, this is significant. This is obligatory ischemia. Left main from pulmonary may lead to the obligatory ischemia. This is signs and symptoms of this is early presentation in the early childhood if left main is from pulmonary. Then second one, or the more prone to develop ischemia, is there is a right coronary in between the aorta and pulmonary trunk, and left main, or the left main is between aorta and pulmonary trunk. There is a more oblique course and more angle origin, so this may also lead to increased chances of myocardial ischemia. The mechanism of ischemia, infarction or sudden death, it may be due to the abnormal slit-like coronary ostia and the acute angle to take off. Here is the one angiography. In this, RCA and left main both are getting origin from the right cusp. Here is the one another case. In this one, the left main is not originating from right cusp, but the origin is from the left cusp. But there is an intramural course of RC. There is an intramural course of the left main. It is mirror image. So RCA has the normal origin, but left main is originating from the right cusp, but there is an intramural course of the left main. This is lead to global ST elevation in the left lead. So the correction of this defect was there is a creating new ostium on the left cusp. In this image, we are also saying there is the left main origin and the RCA is originating from the left cusp with somewhat interarterial or the between the aorta and pulmonary course. This is the angiographic image. In this angio, we can show the abnormal origin of the LCX along from the right cusp. There is a stenosis in the right artery, but there is an anomalous origin of the LCX also. Now, the true mechanical compression of the anomalous coronary artery between the great vessel is not the mechanism of ischemia. So, mechanical compression by two great vessels is not the primary mechanism of ischemia. So, the cause of ischemia would be a slit-like ostium or a band with the acute angle takeoff, and the mechanical compression is the last cause. It is not a primary cause. If the origin is normal or the angle or the course of the artery is little bit straight out, that is less chances of the ischemia. Now the treatment of this would be CABG. Coronary stenting is acceptable, but it is not a preferable option. The second option is the single coronary artery. It is rare in absence of the other anomalies of the heart, but there is a risk of ischemia here is also due to acute angulation, and the second mechanism of ischemia is increased demand. If there is a single coronary artery, the preferential blood flow would be less than the cardiac demand.
What does this mean? This means that if you find one abnormality congenital,
Yes,
think other possibilities possible.
definitely.
Right? Don't stick to that abnormality only.
Here is one angiography. Here we can say kind of RCA is prolonged and also supplies the left side of LAD and LCX territory also. So this is a single coronary artery. Now another abnormality is high takeoff of the ostium. So normal coronary ostium is within the sinus of Valsalva. High takeoff is above the sinus of Valsalva. It is variably classified between the benign and dangerous in the different series. There are some cases that may be causes of the ischemia is maybe abnormal origin or the high takeoff of the coronary ostium. But the main thing is this is associated with another origin, means another abnormality that leads to fibrous ridge at the ostium or the abnormal ostium or the slit-like ostium. So that may increase chance of developing ischemia. Then ostial fibrous ridges. Here we can see there is a normal ostium or the high takeoff, but there is no ridges. But in here we can see there is a ridge or the slit-like opening. So in this case, left main is having the slit-like opening at the ostium. This may lead to the ischemia. Now, the causes of the coronary ostial narrowing could be infectious like syphilis. It may be the Takayasu or fibromuscular dysplasia or aortic valve surgery after AVR surgery also. Another causes would be calcified nodule, supravalvular AS, aortic dissection or adhesion or the embolism.
Here comes the Kawasaki.
Yes, sir. Kawasaki will be there, but Kawasaki generally involves the whole artery. Means
Whatever
there
it
will
may
be.
be,
Yes.
if the history of Kawasaki is there, at
Definitely.
later date they are likely to get.
Yes, sir. Definitely. I have included Kawasaki also, sir.
Okay.
The anomalous origin of the coronary from pulmonary artery. More than 90% of total cases LMCA left main is the anomalous artery, and 95% of untreated patients die within first year. The asymptomatic alter can present with an abnormal ECG or the systolic number or the sudden death. Here is the diagrammatic representation. Now, the myocardial breaches or the tunnel epicardial coronary artery. Here you can see the coronary artery is well circumscribed and it is tunnel in between the myocardium. There is a case of HOCM and there is evidence of it. Myocardial breach is more associated with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Here is the angiography showing, we can see there is a winking or kind of myocardial breach here in the left anterior. So this breach leads to decreased coronary perfusion, specifically in systole, but diastolic perfusion is less impaired or a little bit less impaired. So it may not give sign and symptoms in the early age, but in the later age when you have some stenosis or associated with some disease, this may give some symptoms. The incidence is 5 to 12%, usually confined to LAD territory and mostly hemodynamically insignificant. The factor determining the risk of ischemia in cases of the myocardial breach is the length of the myocardial breach, heart rate. As we all know, the coronary or heart perfusion is mainly in the diastole. So more the heart rate, there will be increased demand and there is a less time to fill the proper blood perfusion. Then the degree of the systolic diameter and reduction, myocardial hypertrophy. Hypertrophy leads to increased demand. The number of arteries or segments of the artery which is tunnel or which is involved. The depth of the tunnel artery. More deep the artery is, there will be more compression and more likely to produce the symptoms. The age of the patient. Here we can see there is a multiple arteries are having the myocardial breaches. Management of myocardial breach, calcium channel blockers and beta blockers. So mainly rate control strategy is the more important myocardial breach. Avoid nitrates. Nitrate is not much beneficial in the myocardial breach. They are causing the pooling of the blood and it is not working. Then surgery on the supra-arterial myotomy, mixed result, but not, and the stent is not preferable in myocardial breach. Now, coronary artery fistula, it is the abnormal communication between the coronary artery and the cardiac chamber. It may be into the RA, RB, or it may be the major vessels, vena cava or subpulmonary veins, pulmonary arteries. The prevalence of this is 0.1 percentage, and most importantly, hemodynamic with significant coronary artery anomaly. Means patient may have some kind of the symptoms or ischemic symptoms with due to this anomaly. RC is more commonly involved. Presentation is incidental finding in routine coronary angiography. Patient may have continuous murmur on auscultation. This may be due to the high shunt or high flow gradient between two arteries. It may be present as the symptoms of IHD or stroke or arrhythmias of coronary angiography. Treatment options are surgery or the transcatheter embolization. Congenital aneurysms are more commonly seen in the RCA and least common in left system. This abnormal flow pattern results in the thrombus formation. So there is a dilated sac of the aneurysm may lead to the thrombus formation, and dislodgement of this thrombus may lead to the coronary obstruction and ischemia. Subsequent basal occlusion and distal thromboembolism. This is the coronary angio of the RCA aneurysm. This is the left side system. Here we can see there is a grossly dilated RCA in the mid segment. This aneurysm is also was associated with inferior MI. So this aneurysm was treated. This was a case report. This was treated with the CABG surgery with aneurysmal repair. Now the coronary aneurysm can be a congenital or sequelance of the atherosclerosis also. It may be due to trauma or angioplasty, atherectomy, and the laser procedure, arteritis, means infectious causes could be, or the dissection.
See, here my point is, what is the duration of developing aneurysm between Kawasaki infection and the aneurysm?
Sir, in the Kawasaki, after 1 month, there may be some.
Very long period.
Yes, sir. Very long.
You see, in childhood they get the Kawasaki, goes to the pediatrician, and adulthood they come to the cardiologist.
Actually, sir, there is a, we can say it is iceberg phenomena. Patient may develop aneurysm, but patient may get symptomatic at the after very long period. Means the
I'm coming to it.
Yes, sir.
That may be the story of COVID.
Yes, sir.
We do not know in the future, today's COVID patient, how they are going to develop after 20 years. We have to learn from the Kawasaki.
The next is coronary artery embolism. The predisposing conditions are the left-sided prosthetic valve, active infective endocarditis, native left-sided valve stenosis, atrial fibrillation, LV aneurysm or the thrombus, dilated cardiomyopathy, cardiac tumor, or during cardiac catheterization or the cardiac surgery. Here we can say there is embolism. This may dislodge and goes to the coronary. The most commonly involved artery is the left anterior descending, and this can be cause of angiographically normal coronary arteries following acute MI. Coronary artery dissection, it may be the primary or secondary. Primary may be spontaneous or iatrogenic or traumatic. Secondary may be extension of the aortic dissection into the coronary. So primary dissection is in the aorta, and it is extension of this dissection from aortic root into the coronary. This is the angiography of left main dissection. We can see there is a dissected segment of the left main. Dissection at the proximal LAD in the left main. There is a first type of spontaneous coronary artery detection could be the mostly in the postpartum women and may be associated with coronary artery wall eosinophils. LAD is mostly affected There is other work, this can result in the sudden cardiac death or acute MI. Here we can see there is a cross section. This is the true lumen and this is the false lumen. The true lumen is somewhat here we always there is a small amount of true lumen and this is the false lumen. So during treating this dissection, there are the high chances that you may cause dissection. You may lead to increase in this dissection also if you are going or you are approaching in the false lumen. Therapeutic dissection, this we call therapeutic dissection, but there is some amount of dissection during placing the stent on the balloon angioplasty. There is always some amount of dissection. Then differentiating dissection from occurring as a complication of angioplasty. First, short axis image, so dissection involving greater than 50% of the coronary medial circumference, and the long axis image dissection longer than 1 cm. That is a significant dissection during the procedure. Spiral dissection is the most severe dissection injury after the angioplasty, and this almost may lead to the slow flow or the no flow, and it is very hard to treat spiral dissection. Now the coronary artery spasm. Spasm is not usually induced by the usual factors, means exercise, emotional upset, cold, and ingestion of the meals that may not lead to increase the spasm. Mostly induced by cigarette smoking, cocaine use, alcohol, and catecholamines.
That was another factor.
Yes,
Ergot.
yes, sir.
People used to ergot injections to detect whether spasm is there.
Yes, sir. We are coming to that. It is a kind of diagnostic test in prismatic or variant.
Right.
And hence, after adrenergic tone in various vasoactive substances like histamine, catecholamine, prostaglandins, and thromboxane is associated with this. The main important point is myocardial infarction and death are rare with this spasm. The prohibitive tests are ergonomic or the IV acetylcholine or hyperventilation. Hyperventilation is less sensitive, but it is the most specific.
Here they see many post-menopausal women. See, this category.
Yes.
Youngsters, yes,
They
exam
don't develop this.
students, yes, but the post-menopausal women.
Yes, sir.
And nowadays, because the isolated family, they are so much, stressed out into this. You day and day out, once in a week, you find a post-menopausal women with chest pain.
Actually, there are chances. There are atypical chest pain is more common in women, and
That may be pre-menopause. I am talking about once they, that hormonal imbalance starts after post-menopause.
yes. Newly recognized causes or association of the coronary spasm. It may be the allergic angina, thyrotoxicosis, hyperchondrogenesis, salbutamol use, or there are many. Now, coronary arterial trauma.
See, all revolves around ergot mechanism.
Yes, sir.
Right? The drugs which you have mentioned are cousin brothers of ergots.
Regarding cocaine use, how frequently do you find here? See, yes, in Punjab side, Mumbai, yeah.
In Gujarat, no.
We have not explored the cocaine. See, that's the whole point. Cocaine is a mysterious drug. Not only cardiologists, even nephrologists and neurologists also are vulnerable for cocaine.
Coronary artery trauma. It may be the blunt or the penetrating trauma. Hydrogenic could be. Catheter or the cannula injury are more common in normal or near normal arteries. Vasculitis may be result from direct spread from the adjacent organs or the hematogenous spread or unknown route. The signs of the coronary arteritis is the focal artery necrosis, then acute coronary thrombosis, rupture of the vessel wall and coronary artery wall thickening with secondary luminal narrowing. Wall thickening with aneurysm formation. So it may be either focal necrosis or the rupture or the thrombosis or the aneurysm. Infectious cause could be syphilis, tuberculosis. Yes,
Autoimmune arthritis is very common,
very common.
right? I have seen couple of cases where rheumatoid arthritis is prone for coronary artery disease.
That comes into it.
Psoriasis, which is prone to it at Anchor's place, we have done this. Right? So, now new entity is coming up, and that is the autoimmune diseases. Go ahead.
The syphilis, this is less common.
If you know syphilis, you know medicine.
Actually, the cases of syphilis is very rare at present.
No, so you must know it.
No.
Syphilis
It
is
is-
common.
it is-
Cardiac involvement in syphilis is very rare, but syphilis is still common. It's not rare.
Syphilis is a mysterious disease. Take it from me. Just 2 months back, a CPC came in the New England Journal. Looks like autoimmune. Turned out to be neurosyphilis.
2 to 3 CPs of NEGM comes every year. And ultimate diagnosis is syphilis.
Neurosyphilis.
Neurosyphilis, yes.
But cardiac involvement is very rare.
But
Maybe neuro.
When the syphilis is not that uncommon, the point is it is
Not
not
rare.
that.
Not rare.
What is the unique of syphilis?
It's a more latent trigger. Means the latent trigger and it is hideous disease.
From cardiologist's point of view, what is the unique of
In symptomatic stage is
it?
much
It produces end arthritis.
Exactly.
yes,
Right? And hence you get the aneurysm of ascending aorta,
yes,
which is secular, not fusiform.
not really.
Right? So if you find a secular aneurysm in ascending aorta, think of syphilis.
Up to 4% of patients with tertiary syphilis may have ostial stenosis, and the first 3 to 4 mm of the left and right coronary arteries may be involved in the obliterative arthritis. Tuberculosis arthritis also associated with the tuberculous pericarditis or the myocardial lesion, and coronary artery granuloma may involve the adventitia and the intima or entire artery. The non-infectious tonsillitis is Takayasu arthritis, arthritis of the rheumatic disease, and PAN, polyarthritis nodosa, infantile PAN, Kawasaki disease, and the Wegener's granulomatosis. This is the video of the Kawasaki disease. It is the contra-CT angio. Here we can see there is a multiple coronary aneurysms. So Kawasaki involves in the whole coronary artery, and there is multiple aneurysm, not a single aneurysm in the specific coronary artery segment.
What happens in PAN?
So like
Polyarthritis nodosa.
polar.
See, once again, I am putting these are viral, post-viral disease. If you think of polyarthritis, think of HPV virus. You see? So that virus once get it as such, it may be benign, it may not be benign.
What is the pathognomonic when the child presents with Kawasaki disease? What is the pathognomonic?
Absolutely.
Exam.
They are saying it is a conjunctivitis, the cherry red tongue, and
The strawberry tongue, moment you
Yes,
see the
the
strawberry tongue, you will never forget that disease.
That strawberry comes in a scarlet,
yes, sir.
Now those are the past, like our time we have seen. Newer generation is not
The
going
still,
to
still, sir.
scarlet
Ah.
once again.
Scarlet.
Scarlet is not that common.
I am putting the same thing which we have seen. Now young generation is not going to see the scarlet.
Actually, Kawasaki diagnosis, timing of the diagnosis is most important to prevent the coronary aneurysm or the coronary artery involvement. So if you are going to see the child in the second, third day, and you are diagnosing or suspecting the Kawasaki, because even the whole picture of the Kawasaki will develop at the fifth day. But early you suspect, early you treat, and early you give IVIG. So there is a more chances of preventing aneurysms. The metabolic disorders narrowing the coronary arteries. These disorders could be Hurler's or Hunter syndrome, the Fabry's disease, Sandoff or homocystinuria. The intimal
Previously. You learn from rare disease. Common thing don't teach you. What happens in Fabry's?
Sir, they are saying in the coronaries there severe intimal proliferation is there, but all over generalized Fabry's picture is
It
lepidospermia.
goes more to neurologist rather than cardiologist.
Yes.
CPC, there is CPC.
The intimal proliferation would be either mediastinal irradiation, fibromuscular hyperplasia, methotrexate use, the coronary osteric annulation, or the post-cardiac transplant.
Here I am coming. Patient of Hodgkin's disease in past. Young boy. Give the radiation. And after 20 years, he gets the premature atherosclerosis.
Yes.
Right? So he is a 15 years boy. At the age of 35, he comes with the atherosclerotic coronary artery disease. Forgetting that past he was exposed to radiation.
The external compression may be due to sinus of Valsalva aneurysms, epicardial tumor beds, or the myocardial breaching. Radiation-induced arthritis, the accelerated or the premature atherosclerosis noted after the 5 to 10 years of the irradiation. Intimal thickening without medial abnormalities is noted. So primary tunica intima, the innermost layer of the artery, is more involved in the radiation arthritis. The intimal lesions consist of the fibrous tissue without any extracellular lipid deposits. Coronary artery thrombosis without underlying atherosclerotic plaque or the plaque. So thrombocytopenic purpura, leukemia, polycythemia rubra vera, sickle cell anemia, and the primary thrombocyte. These all are the mechanism which leads to increase in the thrombocytopenic phenomena in the body. So embolism could go to any grade.
Another factor which is, what this suspect is the homocystinemia.
Yes, sir.
Do that factor play in coronary artery disease?
So actually, in homocystinemia, they are saying it chance to increase the coronary stenosis. Atherosclerotic changes will be more in homocysteine. And
Young
these
myocardial infarction, association with young myocardial infarction.
Only thing is that whether it is a complete or a bystander. See, my point is, even if you try to correct the homocysteine, the problem will not resolve.
Say homocysteine is more associated with venous thrombosis rather than arterial thrombosis.
Absolutely.
So
So then-
pulmonary embolisms, DVTs are more common with hyperhomocysteine rather than coronary
It's
thrombosis.
a bystander, once again. It's an abnormality, whether it is complete or not. Because if you give antioxidants and other things, you correct homocysteine, but prognosis not changes. It is good for laboratories to do the things I said. You get satisfied, patient gets satisfied. Patient don't get the improvement.
Substance abuse. Cocaine-related myocardial ischemia. There are three mechanisms. First is the increased O2 demand. Cocaine causes the tachycardia and increased O2 demand. Cocaine coronary vasoconstriction due to increased alpha adrenergic stimulation, increased endothelin production, and decreased nitrous oxide production, and hence platelet aggregation and the thrombus form. Now, the 24-fold higher risk of MI in first 60 minutes after the cocaine use. Management of this is NTG, and if not responding, phentermine or the verapamil can be used. Beta blockers are contraindicated in the cocaine.
Phentolamine is available. See,
Verapamil.
my point is, We have used it, now it is not available.
It is not available, sir.
Rigitin and Priscold and those things we have used as a alpha blocker. They are only written in the books, not available.
Only thing that alpha beta blocker, I will Lebanon only the whether
Lebanon is
can
okay.
you use, that is then the next patient
But actually, sir, they are saying the beta blockers are harmful.
is
So,
alpha beta blocker,
alpha beta levodopa could be.
Maybe used,
maybe use.
not could be.
Maybe. The myocardial oxygen demand and supply disproportion. It may occur in the thyrotoxicosis, aortic valve stenosis, prolonged shock, or the carbon monoxide poisoning. The intramural coronary artery disease or the small vessel disease. It is varicosa associated. This is the more common form. We are saying this in the regular practice also. HOCM, then diabetes mellitus, amyloid heart disease, neuromuscular disorder, Fabry's progressive muscular dystrophy, in post-cardiac transplantation patient, the rheumatoid arthritis, then collagen vascular disorder, scleroderma, systemic lupus erythematosus, and metabolic abnormalities, mucopolysaccharidosis or gangliosides. So,
One last. SLE is more or less equivalent to diabetes
yes, sir.
as a cardiac risk factor. You see, and which produces more small vessel disease. So your angiogram may be cheaper.
So, last slide to summarize everything. Status of major epicardial coronary arteries in necropsy patient with infarction. If 100 patient with acute myocardial infarction, we can say 95 patient have severe coronary artery numeral narrowing or the atherosclerotic causes of the MI. The 5 patient has normal or nearly normal coronary arteries. Out of 5, 3 patient has mechanism of the spasm and the 2 patient has the non-spasm, which has the congenital anomalies, spontaneous recanalization or the supply demand mismatch. This could be any of these causes. And from the atherosclerotic part, if there is an atherosclerotic plaque, out of 90 patients with atherosclerotic plaque, the superimposed thrombus can be seen in the 77 patient, and the no superimposed thrombus or the recent thrombus can be seen in the 13 patient.